This is the Ridiculously Amazing Insurance Agent podcast hosted by me, Kelly Donahue-Piro. This show is for growing agencies looking to maximize their biggest investment, their people. We mash up our 3-minute videos from the previous week, all with tips on how to be ridiculously amazing at insurance sales, retention, processes, marketing, running an agency, and time management. If you want them daily, like us on social media as they're posted. But let's get started. All right. Well, we had a blast coming up with the 8 ways that agencies make money and sharing them with you. And in this mashup, we go through the last 4. So if you missed it, go to last week's mashup, go on our blog. They're all there, 3-minute videos, go on YouTube. You can see last week's 4 ways, which were new business, retention, coverage increases, and cross-selling. And this week, we're going to go over carrier management, expense management, fees, and firing our least profitable customers. So I'm going to let the videos take over as we go through one by one, the 5, 6, 7, and 8 way your agency can make money. An easy and quick way for your agency to make even more profit and stabilize everything in the agency is to select core carriers and really work to place business with them. You know, you can fight if doing the best thing for the client. It's not always about putting them with the cheapest carrier. It's also about where we put our money and where we put our business. And so we have to put them with the best for everybody. Now, not every carrier's commissions are the same, and all things considered, we should always be looking to put them with the best that pays the agency the best so we can do a great job for clients. So in this 3-minute video, we review all about how to manage your carriers and make sure you don't miss out on some tiers and bonuses, because that can get real tricky real fast. You don't want to wake up in January and realize you missed it by this much and it costs the agency tens of thousands of dollars. Do you now? I don't think so. And now's a great time of year to start looking at that. We'll see you in the video. Hey everyone, Kelly Donahue-Piro here for our next 4 ways that insurance agencies can make money. If you took a look last week, we went ahead and we created the first 4, new business, coverage increases, cross-selling, and retention. Those are all pretty basic. These other 4 are ones that we find most agencies don't have a great strategy for. So if you are interested, we recommend you check out last week's videos, and it's a good opportunity. And if you don't know, you can see my dog in the background trying to get in on our 3-minute videos here. She is quite the mascot here. But I digress. Let's talk first about the next one, which is carrier management. Now, this one is one that some people get a little controversial on. So I want to make sure I'm very clear on what I mean by carrier management. I mean that not every carrier pays the same commission, and you have things like losses to deal with carriers. There's different tiers. Many agencies fall asleep at the wheel on this. What we generally recommend is that agencies develop core carriers that, when all things considered, pretty equal, if the premium is within that range, you try to place them with a core carrier. This helps immensely from a time management perspective for accounting, but also for your team to not have to know so many different companies from a rating perspective and just general book management. Now, in addition to this, the closer you can get to the next tiers of policies, you get different underwriters, you get bigger bonuses, more commission potentially, and more negotiating power with the carriers. So it's very, very, very important we think about where to place business. Now, the controversial aspect of this, some agencies feel, is we're going to do what's best for the customer. And I wholeheartedly agree. But what's best for the customer isn't always the idea of putting them with the cheapest carrier. In fact, many times the lowest carrier is not going to be the lowest by any stretch of the imagination next year. So instead, what we should be doing is putting them with a good, solid carrier that we have a great relationship with that also pays us fairly for our time and effort. There is a carrier out there that almost every agency has that tends to pay the lowest commissions. They're easy to quote, and they tend to have 6-month policies. I won't name names here, but we end up putting them there because it's easy and they're often the least expensive. But we're not necessarily doing the client any major favors. So in order to really grow an agency, you have to be intentional on where you're placing business. And that doesn't always mean the least expensive. It means the best for you and for that client. So take a look at your book. It's a great time of year before the end of the year to determine where you need to place some business. And this could be reshops as well as new business to hit your agency's goals. No one likes to stick to a budget, and I get that, but we have to, because oftentimes agencies spend money on frivolous things that we don't use because we don't have a plan, and expenses get out of hand. We think we can't afford a producer when really we could just afford to tighten our belt a little bit. And I know, because some of my clients come in with me that have bought our products and services on a whim. And then I'm like, what are you doing with them? Nothing. Or they spend, they do our 2-year program, which is, a $3,500 a month investment. And we force them into doing this. We force them into a budget. So the idea is if you have a budget, you can always be flexible and make decisions if a great opportunity comes along. But it's also about the intention of the future and saving up your pennies so that you can afford some of the things that are going to help fuel your vision and your growth. And that's what we cover in this video. Next one is agency expense management. We are going over the top 8 ways agencies have to grow. And expense management is great because it helps grow your profit margin. Now, I'm all for investing in your agency. In fact, I have a business where people invest in my company to help them grow their business. So there is a time and a place for it. But I do want to talk a little bit about contingency fees here, contingency checks here. So for many agencies, you need to operate your business not living off of contingency. They are not a guarantee. Just this year alone, we have agencies in fire zones. We have agencies that have had tornadoes hit. We have all sorts of things. And so living in the world that we live in, you cannot bank yourself on contingency, number one. That money is used for the bonus to yourself for running a profitable business. And then a good portion of it needs to go back into reinvesting. And another portion needs to go back into savings. Now, you can take a portion aside for staff bonuses, of course, but you need to have a plan for that money. And we talk about expense management. This is something I see very often. And again, I've gotten some of my best clients this way. Once they come in, we address the situation. You might go to some of the agency that, the conferences that'll be popping back up, God willing, with hopefully COVID is still something that we can still operate around. And they'll go buy everything and they don't even really know what they bought because they wanted to either follow the industry influencers or they were working really hard or got sold by a salesperson. It doesn't mean that, many times that these things aren't valuable, but they also can't sit on a shelf and not be used. Every agency deserves to have a budget. Yes. What's your marketing expense, payroll expense, etc. Now, as the agency owner, you can choose to violate your budget, but you should at least have an intention for it. Otherwise, we're flying by the seat of our pants, and that makes us vulnerable. We should have planned investments for upgrades to management systems, phone systems, and when we're going to have the next hire. In fact, many agencies struggle with the producer side because maybe there just isn't the bandwidth from an expense management side to have a producer. I guarantee you cut a few expenses, financing a producer could be up your alley, but it's difficult. And that's a whole nother topic for a whole nother 3-minute video on how to get a new producer to be successful. So really think about it. Does your agency have a budget? Are you managing that? And are you checking in on what expenses make sense? Does your agency have a strategic plan on when you're going to be making these investments in the business? Because without it, all you're simply doing is moving one thing from another and going off of emotion, not off of strategy. If you've liked this video, make sure to share it with other groups. We don't charge anything for our 3-minute videos. I'd like to say that the fee is just a share or a like or a comment. It goes a long way to help us spread our word to other independent agencies. Tomorrow, we're going to go over way 7 of 8 ways to make money. And that's going to be a controversial topic that I hope you tune in for, which is agency fees. And don't prejudge it. That's been one of my 2021 resolutions, is to try to stop judging things. And ask you not to judge this video, but instead join us tomorrow so you can hear all about agency fees. Hey everyone, you might have seen that we're launching our latest course, which is how to plan and execute your agency's roadmap to success. And what a great time to do it, as we all should be focused on end of year planning and looking at next year. Well, I want to let you in a little secret. We're doing our first ever pre-sale, which means that from October 4th through October 11th of 2021, you can get it at our most discounted rate before it's even ready. That means that during this time frame, you can get it for $395, where during our launch, it'll go up to $495. And then after that, it goes up to $995. So if you're at all interested, we recommend you lock it in now. You can buy it between the 4th and the 11th of October, and then on the 15th, it'll be automatically available to you. So we just want to get a few people in the hopper that are super excited, clear it off your to-do list. And this course is going to be amazing. The workbook is outstanding. It will literally let you unplug from your agency, sit down and clarify your vision, what's working. We even have management system report guides so that you can pull data from AMS 360, Hawksoft, and Epic and know what you're looking at. We're going to have your team get a little engaged with getting some feedback from them. And then we're going to tie it all together with incentives, a clear way to roll out your vision, and how to hold your team accountable to that vision all through 2022 and beyond if you lather, rinse, repeat this process. This is a huge opportunity. And I know for so many agencies, we struggle sometimes with end of year planning, or we make our plan, but we don't communicate it with the team. Or we make our plan and we communicate with the team once, and then that's the end. So all I want you guys to do is to think about it. What could be better than having me walk you step by step through how to create your agency's success roadmap, and then how to execute it and hold people accountable? For $395, it's worth it, but it's only available until October 11th, 2021. So don't wait. We'll see you soon. Next up, the fees, the dirty, dirty word of fees in insurance. I'm not here to be Judge Judy on fees, but I am here to open your mind and open your eyes on how fees can work for your business. They are not the kiss of death. They are not dirty and icky and horrible. Far, far from it. In fact, fees can be a great way to neutralize unprofitable accounts or put some money aside for some of the things that you really want to invest in for your agency. All I'm asking for you to do is not judge it until you watch this video, and then see how you feel at the end. All right, everyone, it's Kelly Donahue-Piro here with another round of your 3-minute videos. And this week we're focusing in on the 8 ways agencies make money. Now, last week we did the first 4. This week we're wrapping it up. So we're on number 7, which is agency fees. Now, don't stop listening right now, because everyone has this opinion, this judgment on agency fees. Mainly because maybe when you take a new piece of commercial business and you see a fee, you kind of get sick to your stomach of what are they doing? I want to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly on agency fees. First things first, we cannot be everything to everyone. And so in many times in commercial lines, there are very small commercial lines policies that honestly don't make sense to write. So depending on the threshold of the amount of revenue for the producer and for everybody who's going to touch that policy, you may be upside down pretty quick. Now, the pushback I always get is, well, what if it leads to a referral? What if they grow? I get all that. And an agency fee makes it profitable and not a lottery ticket. When you tell me what if, it's a lottery ticket. It's not a guarantee. And I don't want to have an agency lose money on hard work that they're doing under the guise of a lottery ticket. And I also want to put some onus on all of us as sales professionals to get the personalized, get the other files, so we don't have to fee the file. Now, here's the reality. Every state's fees run differently, so I'm talking very generally here. So here's the thing. Either you get the other policies because we should be sales professionals, personalized life, whatever it is, or we have to walk away from it, or we may have to fee the file. Now, just putting this into perspective, okay? I just want to say that you have 1,000 commercial lines customers, and I'm grabbing my calculator because me and math don't do well. I grew up in the generation where calculators became a hot ticket item. So say we have 1,000 commercial lines policies. I'm just going to go policies. And say we put a small $50 fee on every policy at renewal. Guys, that's $50,000. That would pay for a producer. So don't judge fees. They don't have to be astronomical. They can sometimes be small to really add up. So if your agency is looking for ways to invest, maybe have us come on board, maybe get a producer, maybe you make a little bit more money for yourself. Fees are not a hard situation to think about once you get your head around it. Now, there's different types of fees. Some people say we have to fee it up to a certain revenue for the agency. Some people say it's a flat fee. Again, that is your decision. But fees are a great way to keep hitting those numbers that you need. And ultimately, I don't recommend that you judge it. Everywhere you go, there is a fee. When you go buy a car, there's a policy doc fee. When you go get a mortgage, there's a fee. There's fees everywhere. You just have to decide how to use them tastefully for your agency. And if you've walked around your agency judging fees, great news. If you roll this out, lo and behold, people will judge it too. And so you have to do some backpedaling. But just think about if you took that money and you invested it in a savings account to get a new producer, that would pay you back tenfold. And it also allows your producer to get some extra runway and make profitable accounts and not just go ahead and put anything on the books because they need a sale. You see where I'm going with all this? I'm not saying every agency needs to charge fees. I'm saying we shouldn't judge them. And tomorrow is one that's my personal favorite. The last one, the 8th way agencies make money. Now remember, we have new business, we have retention, coverage increases, cross-selling, carrier management, expense management, fees, and the last one is firing unprofitable customers. Because that's a great way to free up our time so we can go cross-sell and do all those other things that make us a lot more money. If you like this video, make sure to like it, comment, or share it. That's how we get the word out about our services and our programs. So if you found that this series to be valuable, make sure you watch it with your team. Make sure you share it with associations, your carriers. We appreciate it. That's how we help keep getting this content out to you. This one is my favorite, and that's why I saved it for number 8. Number 8 is firing your least profitable customers. Icky, awkward, horrible, yet necessary. If there's customers that are draining your agency, we have to remember we cannot be everything to everyone, even though we try. We think, what will people say? People will say that you just weren't a good fit for them. And honestly, after you do a few firings of customers, it gets better. The word firing customer probably sounds a little too egregious too. We probably need to soften that up and say, letting a customer find a better home for them. They may not like you either. It could lead to a bad online review. Where agencies get it all wrong is try to be everything to everybody. You let the front door wide open. And oftentimes it starts at the staff level because they aren't sure who you want to write and who you don't, and there's no standards in the agency. So we let it all fall apart. So if your agency is a little struggling with this, watch this video. We're going to give you tips on how to do it and why you need to focus on firing a few clients. Can you believe we made it? We're at number 8. Agencies can make money in 8 ways, and now we've landed firmly at number 8. So the 8 ways are new business, retention, coverage improvements, cross-selling. Then we have carrier management. We have expense management, fees, and finally, firing unprofitable customers. So why we are passionate about firing unprofitable customers is no secret. In every business, it's almost the same. The least desirable customers take up the most of our time. And what ends up happening is the least profitable customers tend to be needy, they tend to be grouchy, and our team tends to jump through hoops because they don't want to get barked at by them, or they think, I'll just get this done and then I'll get to the good customer. And psychologically, we really struggle with going ahead and prioritizing sometimes accounts. Now, I'm not saying fire your needy customers, I'm saying fire your unprofitable customers. So if you run some simple reports and put it in Excel, you'll find here's all of our customers, here's the revenue, and here's the number of activities we did. Lo and behold, you'll find that the bottom 5 to 10% are really costing you. And these are probably also 5 to 10% when they call in, everyone's like, oh, what the heck? So you as the agency owner have to make some decisions on what are you going to do about these accounts. These tend to be the pay in cash or walk-in payments, lots of moving things around, lapses in coverage, not great for your loss ratio, no one likes them, and honestly, some other agencies or carriers just do it simply better than you. If you could cut the dead weight on your clients and reinvest it through training, think about our agency performance pack school, you might have thought about buying it and having access to retention training and cross-selling training, but no one's got any time. Imagine if you got rid of the people taking up all the time and invested in your team. But the bottom line is we need to always be looking at this. Now, it's uncomfortable to fire clients, and it's uncomfortable because we've made it such a big deal in our heads. We have this thing called the freaking first times, and you can rearrange the first F of freaking with any F word you choose, by the way. The freaking first times mean the first time you do it, it's going to feel terrible, and then it's going to get better. Once you fire 5 to 10 clients, you'll realize it's not that big of a deal. Just simply tell them or call the underwriter and say, we no longer want to write them. Can you cancel their policy? Say, hey, we don't think we're a good fit for you anymore. Or just call them up and be direct. Hey, after looking at your account, we're going to choose that next year you need to find a new agent, and here's Progressive. Or work it out with another agency who maybe specializes in that type of business and see how they can help them. But the bottom line is you need to have a strategy to let go of the worst clients so that you can focus on the best clients. This happens to me. I have a lot of policies. Oh, she's nice. She'll call later. No big deal. She'll be fine. Guess what? The reality, unfortunately, of the situation that we have is that you can keep bumping me off, but my 16 policies, because maybe I'm more complicated and you're dealing with the low-level stuff, it doesn't fly. It doesn't make me want to refer business either. So think to yourself, how are you going ahead and firing the last customers, the ones that are really, truly draining your resources? And if you reinvested that time, how quickly could you make that up? I guarantee you, it's pretty darn quick. So that's our mashup for the week. And we're going to do our mashup tomorrow, which is going to have all sorts of fun stuff in it. We're going to go over the 8 ways. You're going to have the last 4. And if you like this, make sure you like it, comment, share it. These videos are a way that we get the word out about our company And we don't have any sponsors, so we're doing this all for you guys. So make sure you give us a little fee for tuition and like and share our content. Thanks so much. All right, that is our 8 ways agencies make money. Hopefully you were taking notes. Hopefully you're sharing this because, as you know, we don't have any sponsors. We're doing this all just to get the word out on different strategies for agencies. We always say you could even go to our blog and have a whole education. I think we have over 800 blogs right now on our blog. So take a look at this. And if you have any questions, let us know. Also, if you like this, we think that you should share it, like it, comment. If you have any questions that you have out there that you want us to answer, send them in. We are happy to answer questions that you have in your agency. Until next week, have a great weekend, everybody.